Trevor Reed, that is a name that you may not be familiar with, but his family is desperate for his story to be told. The former U.S. Marine has been in detention in Moscow now for 11 months. He's accused of assaulting officers after a night out drinking, but his lawyer calls those allegations nonsense and says that they have the evidence to prove it. Our Patrick Reevell files this report.
For close to a year, Joey Reed has been alone in Moscow. The retired firefighter from Texas had never been to Russia before. Now he's spent months in this apartment in Moscow's suburbs, even riding out the coronavirus pandemic there, all to help his son. Reed's 28-year-old son, Trevor Reed, is on trial in Moscow on charges his family say are trumped up. A former U.S. Marine, he's been held in this pretrial detention center for 11 months.
The stories keep changing, and that's been what's happened through the whole journey of the case against him. And that's why we spoke out, was because there's just so many irregularities in the case.
Reed's detention began last August after a party with his Russian fiancée Alina Sibulnik. Reed had come to Moscow to spend time with her and study Russian. There were vodka toasts at the party and Reed became heavily intoxicated. On the way home in a colleague's car, his fiancée says Reed forced them to pull over and they were unable to get him back inside.
We stopped the car because Trevor was going to throw up. He tried to run, and it's a road, night road with very fast driving there. So I was next to him all the time. I just tried to save his life because I understood that if he's coming to this road, it's no way someone will see him.
Frustrated and worried for him, she said her colleagues called the police, hoping they would come and take him to a hospital or a drunk tank to sober up. 2 officers arrived and agreed to take Reed to a police station.
They just said, okay, if he is drunk, okay, we will take him to police station and we can just leave him there and you can come in morning, 5 hours or 4 hours.
But when she came back a couple of hours later, she says things had changed. Officers from Russia's FSB intelligence service arrived to question Reed.
So when FSB came, and they didn't even hide that they're FSB, so I realized, okay, it's already not ordinary situation.
Police told her Reed was now being charged with endangering the 2 officers' lives, a very serious offence that carries up to 10 years in prison.
They said he grabbed the driver's arm, the police car swerved, and possibly endangering their lives, which is what made it this high-level charge with up to 10 years in prison.
But Reed's family say there's no evidence to support such a serious charge.
We have traffic video from 4 different cameras on the street that the police officers identified as where it occurred, and it never shows the police car swerving. We felt with that evidence alone that the charges would either be dropped or lowered, but they have refused to do that.
In court, the officers have repeatedly changed their testimony. Video from the police station was wiped. Reed's family initially didn't want to go public, but they say they've become more and more concerned their son will be jailed regardless of the evidence.
It became evident that the charges against him were going to be maintained no matter what. At that point, we realized things seem to be changing, and there seems to be a desire to keep him. So that's why we've gone to the media and we've asked for more, support from the United States State Department.
One reason for their concern is the case of another former U.S. Marine held in Moscow. In June, Paul Whelan was sentenced to 12 years prison for espionage after being held for more than a year. Some former U.S. intelligence officials believe he was taken by Russia as a bargaining chip. Reed's case is very different, but increased tensions with Russia means there are concerns that Americans are more at risk of being targeted. Reed's family hope that isn't the case.
We have no indication that it is political, and we don't want it to be political.
Another possibility is Reed is the victim of what critics describe as more routine injustice in Russia's courts. Fewer than 1% of criminal trials end in acquittal in a system with few checks on prosecutors. Another Texas man, Galen Grandstaff, spent 608 days in a Moscow jail after police in 2018 falsely charged him with large-scale drug smuggling for buying a cleaning product online. He was released unexpectedly last year after a judge finally acknowledged problems with the case.
In this country, they don't think about justice. They think about whoever is accused, we convict.
Reed's family hopes this ordeal ends soon. Reed's fate could be determined as early as this month.
Please say hello to my mom and sister. I love you guys. And to my friends, and thank you for supporting me.
But for now, his father, watching and waiting, hoping the Russian court will give his son justice. Patrick Reevell, ABC News, Dublin.
Hi everyone, George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel, and don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.